progress on that. If you can see an improvement in a week, then you think of how good it could be for you. But not even that, it's a case of we've been able to go and exercise in like a really informal environment and take the children and not feel like, oh, my kids are running about, get off that ball. And I think that's an amazing thing. I've even said that to the coaches, that I think there's a definite thing for something like that. Seacroft is massively populated, like you were saying, by kids. It's a child area, isn't it? Babies especially.
A lot of the things in this area, things in this area that do actually run are
kid-based,
non-childcare. So they run either for the children or they run for adults. They've got no childcare. But then, if you think of how many single mothers there is in this area or single fathers there is in this area, how are they supposed to get out and do all these activities when there is no childcare available for them people? Like, for me, I'm doing this with my son. He goes to school in September. So in September, I'll still come and do this, because to me, it's, well, actually, I'm getting out. I'm, thinking, I'm not just sitting in house on my own, you know what I mean? I'm not a single mum. I've, got an husband, but he's at work all day. So
it's down to you.
At the end of the day, it's down to me. I'm basically like a single mum. He comes home, he has his tea, plays with kids for an hour, and then they go to bed. So it's not him that, it's my responsibility to take care of them kids, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we've all got partners, all of
us have,
single, we've all.
But at the end of the day, you do feel, sometimes you do feel like you are a single mother, because, regardless whether you are, you do feel like you are, but during the daytime, you've still got 2-3 children at home with you, what are you supposed to do with them if they go? You can come to this session, come and do this. Yeah, but we can't because we've got our kids, so we can't. No childcare.
If you haven't got that support anyway, but then again, if it's like me, for example, I've got 4 children. I've got one who goes to full-time school. Oh, realistically, you're going to get who wants to look after 3 kids.
Yeah.
All day. If it's like, right, I'm going to go and do this. Will you look after my children all day? It's like, no chance. No. If we want to do something as a couple, we have to palm them off separate. Like, someone goes there, and someone goes there. But then, like, for me as well, if they want for things like this or even family learning,
you'd never get out?
No, I wouldn't, because to me, it's like literally like on a Thursday, because obviously we've been doing family learning coming here afterwards. It's like a military operation on a Thursday morning because my eldest does swimming as well. I'm like a camel going down to that school with my crab, with all my stuff at day. Yeah. But if not...
At least you don't have to pack lunch now, though, because you can come here, you don't have to pack lunch.
I think that the thing being is that you're putting on something that is really appealing to everybody, but also then as well, you've got the food that ties into that as well. It's like, for one, we don't have to cook the food, which is always a bonus, because, that's one thing. But then I think that it's all there set out, but even to the children, would you like to try something? Yeah. Kids will most likely try things that you don't cook.
Yeah.
When you go somewhere, and it's like, would you eat this bowl of pasta? If I put that in front of like my youngest boy, he'd throw it at me, but if someone else does, he will gladly eat it.
It's like,
it's one of those things, isn't it?
Like those crackers you were serving today, I don't know what they call, what are the crackers?
Poppadom crisps. Like healthy crisps.
Yeah, the healthy crisps. The thing is, they were eating those.
Healthier because they're popped rather than fried.
Yeah, so, the healthy ones. But, Callie wouldn't eat them at home. If I bought them, he'd be like, what's that? Like a crisp. Do you know what I mean? He wouldn't eat them.
Okay, so tell me about how you eat at home as a family. Do any of you eat as a family together?
Always. Yeah, we're very much a case of we have a table and we sit at the table. Okay. My eldest had really bad issues with food when he was younger. Okay. He got to the age of about 2 and he just decided he didn't want to eat anymore. That was basically it. We went through the thing, gradually, the doctors intervened because his weight had really started to dip. And we ended up being referred to like an eating clinic in the end of it. Yeah. He was hospitalised twice for being malnourished because he literally wouldn't do anything. He just literally he never took to food. It was just really strange. It was like a phase that he went through, but it lasted quite a long time. Yeah. And he was hospitalised and everything. It was like a living nightmare. And we were referred to the child and adolescent clinics that used to be at Seacroft. Yeah. And we had to basically go with him and take him. And it's almost like a counselling, I suppose, in a way, with him, but obviously with him being younger. And it was the case of that children often use food as a weapon because they can control it, and it's a case of, because obviously if a child does not eat, then you get panicky, don't you, and be like, you won't.
You need to eat. You need to eat.
Literally, you think you automatically think your child's going to die of hunger. Obviously, was my first child as well, so I was like, unaltered panic. Yeah. And we went to this clinic and we had to go quite a few times, and they did tests on James and said, his bone density to make sure he didn't have like an underlying medical condition, which he didn't. And one of the things that they stressed to us, which did help actually, was a case of me and my husband both worked full time at the time as well. And he was like, I can't stress enough how important it is for you to all sit down together as a family and eat together. It is really one of the most important things that you can do, because I don't know how it works. I think it's a thing that you're all sat together and it's like a bit of like a family time, social thing, I suppose.
But you're eating, they're eating, you're all doing it together. That's what we do, even with us being
exactly
tiny little flat.
But one of the also things as well, one of the important things that was mentioned is that one of the worst things you can do to a child when they don't eat is you make a big issue with it. And it's like when you sat there at the dinner table, it's like, eat your dinner, eat your dinner, eat your dinner. Because a child who can't, it just puts a massive strain on them and it makes them not want to do it even more.
Too much pressure.
It's too much pressure, and I think you're supposed to just basically, well, not exactly ignore it, but don't comment on it. If you've got, like with him, he used to sit there and pick at his food, it's a case of, right, leave it for so long, offer it again, if not, take it away. And it sounds like something so simple, but you'd be amazed at how many people do have children who have massive issues with food and it's not recognised. But there's a difference between a child being faddy and a child who has got some kind of borderline problem.
This is a big issue as well. I know a lot of people who go, well, my kid won't eat breakfast, or my kid won't eat lunch or tea. So what I'll do is I'll give them a snack. But the thing is, like, with my Callie, my littlest child, my daughter's never had an issue with food, but he sometimes will go, I'm going to eat that. And regardless of what you do, he will not eat that food. If it's something new, it's something new that he doesn't really want to try or whatever. But you need to try it. I don't want to try it. Well, okay, don't try it. But you're going to sit there. We're all going to eat. You're going to sit there. Don't try it. Just sit there with the plate in front of you. Like peas, for instance. He hated peas, right? Absolutely hated peas. A lot of people go, I can't believe you still give him peas, even though he won't eat them. Well, I'm putting them on his plate because
it's a choice.
It's his choice not to eat them. And if he wants to pick all them carrots out of the middle of them peas, right, that's his choice. I ain't doing it for him. It's not going to happen. So I'm making peas and carrots with our tea. So I'm putting peas and carrots on his plate. Do you know what I mean? Regardless. And now, after 2.5 years of putting him on his plate,
he does eat them.
He decided he was going to try them the other day and actually eats them. And now he goes, I really like peas, I'm like, 2.5 years of being putting them on your plate, and you've never eaten them ever in like his whole life. 4 years he's been alive, he's never eaten peas.
Vicky, you mentioned when we said about eating together, and you said even in a small flat. Has that been an issue? How do you get around?
Well,
that?
I've got a folding table, so I've got like 2 chairs and 2 chairs that go inside the table.
Great.
So I've got 2 proper chairs and 2 chairs that go inside the table, and when the dad comes home from work, tea's usually ready for when he gets home from work, so between like 5 and 5:30 we all sit down together, we pull the table out, so my whole living room is taken up by the chair, by the table basically, and we sit round the table and we eat, because I think with having him at home, Callie obviously being at home, where we used to live, we used to have a table and we always used to eat with somewhere. But then when Callie was born, it was like, well, we don't really have space. So because we moved into this flat, so we didn't have space. So we just used to sit them at a table and we used to sit on the sofa. Yeah. But then we found that a lot of the time he wouldn't eat because of the fact thingy. Yeah, so because we weren't sat there with him, and he wanted to turn round to see us, to be, obviously to have that interaction. So now we end up pulling the table all the way out, and we all sit together, and then it's like a military operation putting it back again. But
it's worth it.
It's worth it because he does eat. He does sit there and he will eat, and it's nice that you can actually sit there and talk about your day. Like you can actually sit there and go, how was your day, Daddy? Was it all right? What have you done today, Mummy? Oh, what have you done today? child 1, what have you done today, child 2? You know, and
Today
it's
you say I've been
nice.
interviewed about this table.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
but it's nice actually being able to, you know, speak to each other while you sat eating and things. Because, you know, when we were all children, I'm sure we all did that as well, didn't we?
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
But I think with the way things change in like routine, I come home often, and my daughter, she's 7. Only thing in her life at this moment in time is the tablet. She walks in the house and she drops all the stuff on the floor, and you go, pick it up, put that away, do that. She goes in the living room, can I go on my tablet? And I'm like, well, I'm going to go make tea, right? I've got to do this, that and other before, obviously, we can actually have our time together. So I go, yeah, go on your tablet. You know, you're giving me half an hour's peace while I'm cooking tea, while I'm doing this. Yeah. So, you know, my little boy, same. Mummy, I've been out all day, I've done this, I've done that. Can I go on tablet? Yeah, of course you can. Get the tablet, go in there. And I can go and cook then, quite happily, while they're sat on that, you know. But then, then we have our tea, and we actually get to physically talk to him.
It's got an end to it. It's a means to an end, isn't
yeah,
it?
exactly.
Yeah, it's not,
but it's not a case of they go on it all the time. Because then we've had our tea, then we'll do family time. We do an hour of family time before it's then bedtime routine, bath, wash, whatever, you know, brush your teeth, get your things, and then go to bed. You know, we make sure we always buy 7 different meals, but we even do the, you know, things of my little boy, he goes shopping with me often. So he does the counting things, which the teacher in nursery to do with them. Like, oh, can you find me 4 apples? We're going to go buy 4 apples. We're going to have, how many of us is there? Right, there's 4 of us in the house, so we need 4 of those things, you know, whatever it is. But I ask them what meals they want as well. So, like, my husband chooses a meal, my daughter chooses a meal, and my son chooses a meal, and I choose a meal, and then we have 3 like generic meals that we have like basically every week. So like we always have spaghetti bolognese, right? Not any particular day, but we always have it because it's a cheap meal. It's a cheap meal, something that, you know, it costs me probably about £5 to make spaghetti bolognese for us all, you know. So it's something that's cheap and it works for us.
Do you
know?
all do that? What about you? So, is that? How do you plan your sort of meals for the week?
Basically, I just sit down, like I do wait for my other half to finish work, and we just sit at a table and just like eat, because it is nice. It's nice just to be all together, and it's nice for my baby to kind of learn how to use forks and stuff, watching us to do, you know, use the forks, and she can copy and stuff. So
what about your meals, the actual content of your meals? How do you plan that out?
I don't think I do. I just think I wake up in the morning and think, oh, I'm going to have this today.
Yeah.
And kind of
do you like a weekly shop though, Amy?
I don't do weekly. I just go and get bits and pieces like Vicky said and stuff like that.
Yeah, as you go kind of thing. See, I'm probably total opposite, because my husband does all cooking in our house. Literally, in case if you can't cook, well, fair enough, then we need to eat. You'll do it, so he does. I mean, he goes to work as well. We're very much, it's 50-50. He doesn't do, don't get me wrong, he doesn't wear a pinny and do cleaning and everything else, you know, while I lay on the sofa and, you know. But she's always got a vacuum in her hand. Yes, that's all, you know. So I'm not like that, but it's a case of he enjoys doing it, so he does it. It's like, you know, you like to do it. Yeah. But he does plan it. But I was saying this to Vicky before, my husband's very health conscious, more than I am. Like, he plays squash twice a week. We actually have a gym in the bedroom. You know, he does all that he actually uses, not just to hang clothes on the bed. He does actually use it, you know. So he's very health conscious, and he's very much a Yorkshireman, like, you know, meat and 2 veggies, got to have a joint of meat, you know, things like that. So he does the shopping as well, so he does the shopping and cooks. Brilliant. So it's a case of, he's very much a case of, like, obviously, don't get me wrong, we have things like chips and pizzas, don't get me wrong, but we'll also have like quite a few Sunday dinners during the week as well, with, you know, veg and things, at least 3 and 4 different types of veg. But Friday is always takeaway day. Every Friday it's a treat for kids, because if they've behaved, so it's either usually a McDonald's or KFC on a Friday, and that's what we do. Yeah, nobody cooks on a Friday. It's a case of go shopping. We've all done this. We're all going to sit down and, you know, but then I've got like quite a big living room, so we have like a little dining room. Got like a little archway, I think it's like a dining room. But we all eat at the table, but my table's used for so many different things, because like when the kids do crafts and things as well, it's very much a thing that we all sit at the table, you know, I can sit there and do things with the kids or whatever, but it's a case of, you know, don't get your Play-Doh on my rug, sit on the table. Do you know, yeah, things like that. So our table's very much a case of, you know, it's quite centred actually.
Multi-use.
Yeah, it's family, it's multi-use, it's a family thing, you know, it's a case of, you know, especially having 4 children of different ages, like if James wants to bring his Lego downstairs, yeah, you can go sit at the table and do it. Or Layla will sit and do a jigsaws at the table. So yeah, we very much
babies don't get
babies don't get it, but we to us, like our tables, like you said, almost like your family thing, isn't it? It's your table, it's your central thing, It's like, we're not like bread. Do you ever remember that sitcom Bread? You know, the Freddie Boswell. Do you remember Bread?
No, I don't.
It's like, it's like an old, you know, it's so good to me. It's like an old sitcom. And they all used to sit at the table and put money and put money in the car.
Like they do on Dingle. Like Dingle's doing.
Yeah, like the Dingles. It was like a head, wasn't it? They'd have like a family meeting. And the head of the family, wasn't it? They'd all sit there. But to me, that's what they represent. That's like an old-fashioned thing, isn't it? Where they all...
The family comes
together.
The family comes
together. It's the table
thing. I think a table is a big